We just got the reveal of 3 brand new Beyblade releases, including 2 new Beyblades, a new stadium, as well as the return of a fan favorite launcher. The latest issue of CoroCoro Comics dropped today, and in that magazine, we got the reveal of the October Beyblade X releases, as well as a teaser into the November release, which looks amazing, but we'll talk about that later. So hit that like button, hit subscribe to join the Nook Nation, and now let's talk about our very first bit of news, which is the BX37 Double Extreme Stadium set. This video is jam-packed with brand new Beyblade releases, and if you guys want to get any of them, go and check out sponsor of the channel, Mall of Toys. They're going to have listings up for this new BX37 motorized stadium and the new UX-08 SilverWolf really soon. So go and check out Mall of Toys, link in the description down below, and make sure to use code ilinnuc to get 5% off. So how it works is it seems like a standard Beyblade X stadium, with the outer extreme line being basically the exact same, but the inner core area of the stadium is where the motorized plate is. There's a little bit of a dip where we have a second extreme line in this like perfect circle, and how this is going to work, I have no idea. I'm definitely really interested to see how this stadium works. I don't really know how I feel about such a major dip into like a second level. Like, our bay is going to be able to fling outside of that center motorized area. I'm really interested to see how it works. And it looks like Takara Tomy is upping their safety measures as well, because it looks like they made the outer plastic shroud a little bit taller and maybe even a little bit beefier as well. So I'm sure these battles are going to be complete chaos. Every single generation of Beyblade has had some form of motorized stadium. In Metal Fight, we had the Diablo or Proto-Nemesis Mugen Stadium. In Beyblade Burst, we had a Mugen Stadium as well. And now in Beyblade X, we finally have our motorized stadium. So on the surface, everything looks pretty cool, okay? We have a new stadium, and it's a gimmicky motorized stadium, so it's gonna really change up the standard Beyblade X gameplay. But there are a couple of major flaws. And the very first one is the bay they included in this set. Takara Tomy really could have done anything here. They had so many bays to choose from, and they could have even made a new release for this set. But instead, we're getting a recolor of Savage Bear, the bay that we thought was a Hasbro exclusive that you can probably go and find at Walmart or Target for like $8. We're getting a recolor to that in this set. And it's not Savage Bear, okay? They did change the name from Hasbro. So Hasbro's name is Savage Bear. Takara Tomy's name is Bear Scratch. Bear Scratch? Kinda lame. The second major-ish flaw with this set is going to be the price. Because this is a stadium set and it's also a motorized stadium, it's going to be one of the most expensive Beyblade X products yet. There's going to be a lot of people out there that aren't able to get this set because of that price. And there's also a lot of people that are going to be kind of on the fence about it. And if Takara Tomy would have included a cool pack-in bay, that would have been awesome. Like, imagine like a red or maybe even a green recolor of Cobalt Drake, maybe. Kind of wishful thinking, I know, but Savage Bear, I don't really know how I feel about this set. I'm going to be getting it anyways, but I don't know if I can recommend it until I see it in action. But now we can move on to the starter release for October, which is UX-08 SilverWolf. Whenever I first saw pictures of this bay, I wasn't really too impressed. I don't really like that wolf motif in the middle, or at least I didn't at the time. But after seeing a few more pictures and reading on the actual gimmicks of the bay, I kind of like it now. Like I said, this is UX-08 SilverWolf, meaning it is a new UX bay. Pretty much everything going forward is going to be UX, pretty much, besides that stadium set. But this is a stamina type bay with 2 distinct free spin elements. This was the part of the news that really changed my mind on this bay quite a bit. I don't really know how I feel about the visual style of the bay, but the gimmicks are pretty cool, okay? So let's look at the parts that are included. First of all, we have the ratchet, which is like $380. I don't really care about that. It kind of sucks they didn't give us a new part there, but the other pieces are pretty cool. The first cool part we're going to talk about is the new bit, which is called FB, or free ball. Are we serious right now? Is it really free ball? Sounds kind of wrong. Free ball looks pretty similar to the standard ball bit, although the gears and below are now free spin. I don't really know how that's going to affect like the extreme dash performance of the bay. I would assume it wouldn't be good for extreme dashes, although it is a stamina type, so you don't really want it to do extreme dashes anyways. But a free spinning part in Beyblade X is definitely really nice to see. And you can also see that Takara Tomy is really heating up on the gimmicky part of the bays just a little bit, but they're not going overboard with it. Like with Phoenix Rudder, we had the glide bit that had, you know, the POM material. We had Metal Needle on Shinobi Shadow. And then with SilverWolf, we have a free spinning element. And it seems like they're only going to get more and more gimmicky as time goes on. I just hope they don't go too far with it, okay? As much as you guys may like it, I don't really want to see a Lucifer barrier gimmick or a Raphael halo. Let's keep it simple. But that is not the only free spin part of this Beyblade, okay? Now we direct our attention to the SilverWolf blade. Looking at it, it does look pretty cool, okay? The design elements are nice. I just don't love the wolf aesthetic, I guess. It's also really round as well, which may be a bad thing, potentially. We'll just have to see about it. But if you look at the side view of SilverWolf, you can see that the blade is split up into two pretty distinct sections. We have a top metal piece, which is where pretty much all of the detail and the weight of SilverWolf is going to be. But then underneath that, we have a blue plastic section. And from what I'm understanding from CoroCoro and the pictures, that blue plastic section is a free spinning element on the blade. So this is a pretty big deal. But unless I've been training in the hyperbolic time chamber, we have not seen an in-blade gimmick in Beyblade X yet. So the fact that we're getting one, and we're also getting another sort of blade gimmick in November, is pretty crazy to see. So let's go ahead and look at the actual design of SilverWolf just a little bit more. It's definitely kind of growing on me, okay? I do like the color scheme being a black, silver, and blue with a tiny little bit of red in the wolf eyes. But something that really surprised me, and I think it might surprise you guys as well, is that this is another Bakuten Shoot inspired Beyblade. Like Vice Tiger, like Cobalt Dragoon, and Black Shell, but this is an inspired design from Wolborg. Wolborg was a mostly silver, blue, and red Beyblade. It also had the very first bearing tip in the entire Beyblade game. And if that's not enough, if you look at the ear of SilverWolf's wolf motif, you can see the Bakuten Shoot logo. It's definitely really interesting because I and many other people assumed that Season 2 would see Metal Fight inspired designs, like with Aero Pegasus being inspired from Pegasus, but we're still seeing Bakuten Shoot, which I'm fine with. But now we can finally talk about the news I'm most excited about, which is the teaser for the November Beyblade X release, rumored to be called SamuraiSaber. This bay was actually teased in the previous issue of CoroCoro, so most people thought it would get an October release, but instead it's going to be releasing in November, but I think it's worth the wait. We don't really have much to show off, like a box or a price or even the full bay in really good quality, but in this CoroCoro picture, we can see half of the blade. And from what we can see, it is a samurai bay with a green and purple color scheme, which I really like. I don't really want to speculate too much, but from what we can tell, there is going to be a mid-battle mode change that can happen with the blade of SamuraiSaber. A little confusing. From what I can assume, based on this picture of SamuraiSaber, there is one little piece of the blade that has this reflective shine on it. I think that that piece is underneath the main blade area, and that piece can either be popped out or it can be flush. So just depends on how aggressive you want your bay to be. My explanation may have not been the best, and you may be more confused now than you were before, but I'm still kind of confused on how this mode change actually works. Something that I am not confused about, though, is how awesome the launcher is with this bay. This is going to be a starter, but it's not just any starter, it's kind of a deluxe starter. But instead of a string launcher, we are getting the return of the sword launcher. If we take a closer look at this launcher, we can see that it's kind of a fusion between a ripcord launcher and a grip, which I'm fine with. At the very bottom, you can see the grip accessories are a purple and blue color, which once again, I think is great. The one thing I'm kind of concerned about is that neon lime green sword ripcord. It looks a little bit small and thin and maybe easily breakable, especially when you compare it to the sword launcher from Zyphoid Excalibur, which was a lot more durable feeling, so hopefully it's not super bendy and breakable. So what do you guys think of the news? How do you feel about the kind of expensive motorized stadium or the return of Woolborg with SilverWolf? And I'm especially interested to know what you guys think on this SamuraiSaber bay and the return of the sword launcher. But that is going to wrap up this video. If you liked it, hit that like button, hit subscribe to join the Nook Nation, and I will see you in the next one. Have fun and bay away.